Forget what you think a European vacation is supposed to look like. Forget the scorching hot lines, the sea of selfie sticks, and the same old souvenir shops. Those well-worn paths, they only show you a tiny piece of the continent's real story. The real Europe, the one that's still brimming with soul, isn't waiting in the crowded capitals. It's tucked away in the quiet corners, in cities that time seems to have gracefully remembered, not just passed by. We're going on a journey beyond the postcards, deep into the heart of a region with a vibrant resilience. This is Eastern Europe, a place woven from the threads of ancient empire, stunning nature, and cultures that stood amid the storms of history. We're heading to 15 cities, the storms of history. We're heading to 15 cities. These are places that you just walk away and keep awakening. Cobblestone alleys that witness the birth and legends of largest and pristine nature that holds without traditions. This is an exploration of Europe through escapes. Get ready to discover the Europe that's still waiting to be written into your travel story. Our journey starts in a city that feels like a whispered secret, a place of elegance and creative fire. Lviv, Ukraine, often called the country's cultural capital. Lviv is a masterpiece of Renaissance and Baroque architecture, where every corner holds a new story. Its historic center, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a maze of cobbled streets that echo with the history of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This isn't a city you rush through. It's a city you savor, ideally in one of its legendary coffee houses. The air here is thick with the aroma of coffee and fresh pastries, a tradition that's been the lifeblood of the city for centuries. But Lviv is more than just stunning buildings like the Reinach Square or the Grand Lviv Theater of Opera and Ballet. It has a modern, bohemian soul. It's a hub for artists and musicians, with a buzzing festival scene and galleries hidden in quiet courtyards. And the beauty doesn't stop at the city limits. Lviv is surrounded by rolling hills and lush parks, offering a peaceful escape and a reminder that even in this city of high culture, nature is always close by. Lviv is a testament to resilience, a city that has held on to its historic grace while charging into a dynamic future, making it the perfect first stop on our quest. From Lviv's elegant cafes, we head south to a city that's one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Europe. Plovdiv, Bulgaria. With a history stretching back over 6,000 years, Plovdiv is a place where layers of time are an active part of daily life. The most breathtaking example is its magnificent Roman amphitheater. Built in the 2nd century, it's not just a ruin. It still hosts concerts and performances today. Imagine sitting on ancient stone seats under the stars, feeling the pulse of culture that has thrived here for millennia. Plovdiv is built on 7 hills, each offering a different view of the city's long story. The old town is a living museum, a cascade of colorful Bulgarian revival mansions. But this is no city frozen in time. Head down into the Kapana district, also known as the Trap, and you'll find its modern, creative heart. Once a street for artisans, Kapana is now a thriving hub of art galleries, craft beer bars, and independent shops. And if you need a dose of nature, the majestic Rhodope Mountains are right there, offering day trips to ancient monasteries and incredible views. Plovdiv is a city of amazing contrasts, where Roman mosaics sit beneath trendy art spaces and ancient history fuels a modern culture. Now our journey takes us into the heart of Transylvania, but maybe not where you're expecting. We've arrived in Sibiu, Romania, a city that looks like it's been pulled from the pages of a German fairy tale. Settled by Transylvanian Saxons in the 12th century, Sibiu has a distinctly German feel. Its huge squares like Piazza Mare are lined with pastel-colored buildings and medieval towers. But what really makes Sibiu unique are its eyes. Look up at the rooftops, and you'll see them. Small, eyelid-like windows that seem to be watching over the city. This feature has earned it the nickname the City with Eyes, giving Sibiu a curious, almost living personality. Legend says the eyes were built to intimidate people, a constant reminder they were being watched. The real reason was much more practical, to ventilate the attics where merchants stored their goods. Today, they're a symbol of the city's watchful charm. Sibiu is also a city of deep culture, home to the Astra National Museum Complex, one of Europe's largest open-air museums showcasing Romanian folklife. And for the adventurous, the city is the perfect gateway to the dramatic Făgășia Mountains, which offer some of the most spectacular hiking in Europe. Sibiu is a city that watches you and in return invites you to look a little closer. Next, we head north to a city buzzing with youthful energy while sitting on 1,000 years of history. Poznan, Poland.
Located on ancient European trade routes, Poznan has always been a center of commerce, and you can still feel that dynamic spirit today. The city's heart is the Old Market Square, one of the most beautiful in Europe, lined with colorful restored Renaissance merchant houses. At its center is the magnificent Old Town Hall. Every day at noon, a crowd gathers to watch a quirky ritual. As the legend goes, a young cook named Pietrek accidentally burned the venison for a feast and tried to replace it by snatching 2 goats. The goats escaped, ran to the top of the town hall tower, and started butting heads, which the crowd found hilarious. The mayor, so amused, pardoned the cook and ordered a clock mechanism of 2 butting goats to be built. For centuries, these mechanical goats have marked midday, a whimsical symbol of the city's playful character. Poznan is also a city of green spaces, with parks and the calm water river offering a natural escape. It's a place where history isn't just kept in museums, but is celebrated with a wink. From Poland's colorful squares, we travel to a city of stone and silver, a place of dramatic beauty, Gjirokastra, Albania. Clinging to the steep slopes of the Drino River Valley, Gjirokastra is a breathtaking sight. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the city is famous for its unique Ottoman-era tower houses, packed so tightly that their stone roofs create a cascading landscape. This unique architecture has earned it the name, the City of Stone. The cobblestone streets are incredibly steep, winding up toward the city's crown jewel, the Gjirokastra Fortress. This massive castle, one of the largest in the Balkans, looms over the city and has witnessed centuries of history. It started as a 12th century stronghold, became a pasha's palace, and was even a political prison during the communist era. Today, it holds the National Armaments Museum, displaying captured artillery and even a U.S. Air Force spy plane that was forced to land in 1957, a fascinating relic of the Cold War. Gjirokastra is a city that feels both imposing and intimate, a place where every stone tells a story of resilience. We're back in Transylvania, this time in a city cradled by the majestic Carpathian Mountains, Brasov. This is the quintessential medieval Saxon town where history feels alive. The city is surrounded by well-preserved fortified walls and defensive towers, a clear reminder of its past. At its heart is the Council Square, or Piazza Sfatului, a grand plaza surrounded by ornate Baroque buildings and buzzing with cafes. Dominating the square is the city's most famous landmark, the Biserica Negrush, or the Black Church. As the largest Gothic church in southeastern Europe, it supposedly got its name after a great fire in 1689 blackened its walls. However, some now believe the name came much later, and the dark color is simply from pollution, not the fire. Inside, its scale is humbling, and it holds a stunning collection of Anatolian carpets. For a bit of fun, try to find Rope Street, or Stratus 40, one of the narrowest streets in Europe. But Brasov's best feature is its backyard. The city is a gateway to the untamed wilderness of the Carpathians, offering amazing hiking and even guided tours to see European brown bears in their natural habitat. A short trip from Brasov takes us to another Transylvanian treasure, so perfectly preserved it feels like a movie set. Welcome to Sighișoara, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the last inhabited medieval citadels in Europe. Stepping into Sighișoara is like stepping back into the Middle Ages. It's a cluster of colorful, centuries-old houses connected by winding cobbled alleys, all enclosed within 14th century walls. 9 of the original 14 guild towers still stand guard, each a tribute to the craftsmen who defended their city. The heart of the citadel is the 64-meter-high clock tower, offering panoramic views of the town. But Sighișoara is famous for more than its architecture. It's the birthplace of one of history's most infamous figures, Vlad Tepes, also known as Vlad the Impaler, the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. The house where he was born is now a restaurant and museum, adding a touch of dark mystery to the town's fairy tale atmosphere. Walking through Sighișoara, especially at dawn or dusk, is an enchanting experience, a journey back to a world of Saxon merchants, medieval guilds, and the lingering shadow of a legendary prince. Our journey now leads us to the brisk air of the Baltic Sea, to a city shaped by trade, conflict, and an unbreakable will. Gdansk, Poland. At first glance, the restored architecture of Gdansk's old town, with its tall, slender buildings, might remind you of Amsterdam. That's no accident. As a key port in the Hanseatic League, Gdansk was a wealthy cosmopolitan city that drew inspiration from across northern Europe. The heart of it all is the Long Market, a spectacular street lined with colorful facades. Here you'll find Neptune's Fountain, a symbol of the city's connection to the sea, an artist's court where wealthy merchants once met. But this beauty tells a story of incredible resilience. Gdansk was almost completely destroyed in World War II. The city you see today is the result of a heroic decades-long reconstruction by its citizens to reclaim their heritage. This city has seen it all, from a golden age of trade to being at the center of the start of WWE, and later, as the birthplace of the solidarity movement that helped topple communism in Eastern Europe. Gdansk isn't just beautiful. It's a powerful symbol of both tragedy and rebirth. It's time to leave the cities behind and lose ourselves in a region of serene, unspoiled nature. Our destination is the Masurian Lake District in northeastern Poland, a breathtaking area known as the Land of 1,000 Lakes. In reality, there are over 2,000 lakes here, ranging from vast, sail-dotted waters to small, hidden pools and ancient forests. The entire region, a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, was carved out by the last ice age, which left behind a gentle landscape of rolling hills and plains. The lakes are connected by rivers and canals, making it a paradise for boaters, kayakers, and anglers. One of the best things to do is kayak down the calm Krutinia River, a route that takes you through the heart of the Masurian Landscape Park, a sanctuary for incredible wildlife. You might spot white-tailed eagles soaring above or see majestic mute swans on Nukanano Lake. The culture here is as peaceful as the landscape. The region is dotted with charming villages like Mikołajki and Ryn, where you can enjoy traditional Polish hospitality. The Masurian Lake District offers a different kind of discovery, not of grand architecture, but of the deep peace that only nature can provide. Our journey now takes us to the Caucasus, to a place often called the Switzerland of Armenia. This is Dilijan, a town nestled in the lush, forested mountains of Dilijan National Park. The comparison makes sense, not just because of the stunning alpine scenery, but because Dilijan has long been a retreat for artists and writers. Drawn to its peaceful beauty and mineral water springs, the town is a charming mix of traditional Armenian architecture, with its distinctive stone and woodwork and old Soviet-era sanatoriums. But the real magic of Dilijan is in its surroundings. The national park is a paradise for hikers, a sprawling wilderness of dense forests and mountain meadows. Hidden in these ancient woods are some of Armenia's most precious cultural treasures, its medieval monasteries. A short drive from Dilijan, you can find the magnificent Hagartsin Monastery, its stone chapels appearing from a clearing in the forest as if by magic. A bit farther is the Gushavank Monastery Complex, another masterpiece of 12th and 13th century architecture. Dilijan offers a unique spiritual journey, where the tranquility of nature and the deep history of Armenian Christianity come together. We return to the mighty Danube River, to a city whose elegance has earned it the nickname Little Vienna. Welcome to Rus, Bulgaria's largest river port. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Rus's position on the Danube made it a booming gateway to Europe. Wealthy merchants hired European architects, mostly from Austria, to design their homes and public buildings, turning the city into a showcase of Neo-Baroque and Neo-Rococo styles. Strolling its streets today feels like walking through an open-air architectural museum. The Dohodno Zdani, or a profitable building, is a magnificent centerpiece on the main square, its ornate facade topped with 7 figures symbolizing art, science, and commerce. The city's connection to the Danube is its lifeblood, with riverside parks for leisurely walks and boat trips. Rus also has a vibrant cultural scene, hosting numerous festivals throughout the year, from a prestigious classical music festival to a lively carnival. As a lesser-known gem on the Danube, Rus offers a fascinating glimpse into a period of Bulgarian history filled with optimism, prosperity, and a deep connection to the heart of Europe. Our journey now leads to one of the most dramatic landscapes in Europe, the Bay of Kotor in Montenegro. This submerged river canyon, often called Europe's southernmost fjord, is a stunning sight of shimmering blue water surrounded by towering black mountains. Tucked into the most secluded corner of this bay is the town of Kotor, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a perfectly preserved medieval gem. Surrounded by imposing fortifications, the old town is a maze of narrow, winding streets and ancient stone buildings. Getting lost in Kotor's labyrinth of alleys is part of the fun. You might stumble upon the 12th century Cathedral of St. Tryphon, a beautiful example of Romanesque architecture, or find a quiet cafe in a sunny square. But the ultimate Kotor experience is climbing its fortifications. A path of over 1,350 steps zigzags up the steep mountain behind the town to the fortress of San Giovanni. The climb is a challenge, but the reward is one of the most unforgettable views in Europe. The entire old town with its red-tiled roofs spread out below, framed by the majestic bay. Kotor is where natural wonder and human history have created something truly spectacular. From the dramatic mountains of Montenegro, we travel to a landscape that is completely different, but just as mesmerizing. Our destination is Nida, a small resort town on the Curonian Spit in Lithuania. The Spit is a remarkable natural wonder, a narrow, 98-kilometer-long sand dune that separates the Curonian Lagoon from the Baltic Sea. This entire landscape is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a place of ethereal beauty and deep tranquility. Nida itself is a charming village of traditional wooden fishermen's houses, painted in dark reds and blues. The town has long been an artist's colony and was the summer retreat of German writer and Nobel laureate Thomas Mann, whose house is now a museum. But the main attraction is the raw, windswept nature all around. A short walk from Nida takes you to the Parnidis Dune, one of the largest moving sand dunes in Europe. Standing on top of this vast sea of sand, with the calm lagoon on one side and the restless Baltic Sea on the other, is a truly humbling experience. The Curonian Spit is a fragile, ever-changing landscape, a testament to the power of wind and water. Nida is a unique escape, a chance to connect with a place that feels wild, elemental, and completely unforgettable. While most visitors to Croatia crowd the streets of Dubrovnik and Split, a quieter, more authentic experience is waiting in the coastal city of Šibenik. Unlike other cities on the Dalmatian coast founded by Greeks or Romans, Šibenik is a truly Croatian city, founded by Croats over 1,000 years ago. This gives it a unique character, a city of gleaming white stone that rises from the Adriatic in a cascade of narrow streets and medieval fortresses. The city is guarded by 4 fortresses, each offering a stunning view. But the undisputed jewel of Šibenik is the Cathedral of St. James, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Built entirely from stone over more than a century, it's a masterpiece of Renaissance engineering, famous for the 71 sculpted faces that circle its exterior, believed to be portraits of 15th century locals. Šibenik's appeal also comes from its proximity to one of Croatia's greatest natural wonders. The city is the main gateway to KRKA National Park, a lush river valley famous for its breathtaking waterfalls. And unlike the more famous Plitvice lakes in some parts of KRKA, you can actually swim in the crystal clear water at the Cascades. Šibenik offers the perfect blend of history, architecture, and stunning nature, all away from the main tourist trail. For our final destination, we climb to the roof of the Carpathians, to the majestic peaks of the Tatra Mountains in Slovakia. Forming a natural border between Slovakia and Poland, the High Tatras are the only alpine mountain range in the entire Carpathian chain. It's a dramatic landscape of jagged granite peaks, serene glacial lakes, and deep forested valleys. This is a paradise for outdoor lovers, offering some of the best hiking and skiing in Eastern Europe. The trails range from gentle valley walks to challenging high-altitude treks that reward climbers with breathtaking views. One of the most iconic sights is Etrebuske Pleso, a picturesque mountain lake that perfectly mirrors the surrounding peaks, creating a scene of almost impossible beauty. But the Tatras aren't just about raw nature. The region is steeped in the traditional culture of the Gorals, the Highlanders who have lived in these mountains for centuries. The foothills are dotted with villages full of distinctive wooden architecture and beautifully preserved wooden churches, some of which are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Tatra Mountains are a fitting end to our journey, A place that reminds us of the wild, untamed beauty still waiting in the heart of Europe. We've journeyed from the coffee houses of Lviv to the peaks of the Tatras, and we've only scratched the surface of the treasures Eastern Europe holds. The journey of discovery is never really over. There are countless more underrated cities and hidden corners out there. So, what are your favorite hidden gems in Europe? Share your own discoveries in the comments below. We read them all, and your suggestion could be our next adventure. The well-trodden path is comfortable, but it's on the detours and the side roads where you find true adventure. These 15 places are more than just destinations. They're invitations. They invite you to look beyond the postcards, to seek out the authentic soul of a place, and to connect with the deep, resilient cultures that define this incredible continent. Traveling to these underrated cities is a reminder that the world is still full of wonder, that there are still secrets to uncover. And the greatest reward of travel isn't just seeing new places, but seeing the world with new eyes. So as you plan your next trip, maybe you'll think about turning away from the crowd and venturing into the heart of Europe that's still waiting for you. Thanks for joining us.